Hi guys, it's April, and today I've got another review. A little while ago in the mail, I received a copy of the Chronicles of the Three, Bloodline by Tabitha Caplinger, and I received this copy in exchange for an honest review, and that is what this video is. Yeah, it's gonna be all about this book right here. I will do this review in the same fashion I do all of my other reviews. I will have the unspoilery synopsis and review at the beginning, and then a spoiled thought discussion afterwards. I will let you know when that transition happens in case you don't want to be spoiled and you want to go off and read it and maybe come back later and we can have a discussion. So the Chronicle of the Three, Bloodline, is the first in the series of the Chronicle of the Three. This is the story of Zoe, whose family has recently passed, and she's moved in with her aunts, and she starts to realize that there is a little bit more to the world than she first realized. She's starting to see dark entities, and later learns that she is part of a bloodline that is on this earth to defeat the darkness. Not only that, but she is a daughter of the Three, which means she may or may not be connected to this prophecy that speaks about the reaping and the coming of the darkness and defending humanity. If that's not a lot to have on your poor teenage shoulders, I don't know what is. This is the start of Zoe's adventure as she learns who she is and what being part of the bloodline really means. You get demons, you get angels, you get the supernatural adventure story all within this book. A lot of the storyline switches between Zoe and her Aunt Claire, and so you get to see different perspectives. As I was reading it, I kept on getting little flashes of Buffy and little flashes of Gilmore Girls, and the reading itself felt a lot like watching a television series because there was a lot of these jump cuts where you'd have these mini scenes of something slightly different and then you'd come back or you'd move to the next day, which was an interesting read. Unfortunately, it made everything feel extremely fast-paced, and so the characters didn't feel as developed as I wanted them to be. I would have loved some of these characters being really fleshed out, but because of how fast-paced and how short this book is, they felt a little flat. The storyline altogether was fairly interesting. I do want to know what happens in the end. And my favorite character in this book is the Aunt Claire because she is some kick butt, you know? I will aspire to be her in my future. Like I said, the writing is fairly fast-paced. This is a story that I probably would have just sat down and read all in one setting if I had had time because it's not that bulky and it's not that hard to get into. The writing is very easy to understand and quick to go through, like I said. At times, this left me feeling like I wanted more. I wanted more description. I wanted everything kind of filled out. But I understand when you're telling an action story like this, sometimes things feel really, really fast-paced because that is the nature of these kind of adventure stories. I still wanted a lot more in the characters. I wanted depth. I wanted growth. I wanted something to really, really pull me in. I didn't quite get that, but I'm hoping that I will get those in later stories because it will be interesting to see where all of these characters end up going in the future. If you're looking for something quick, if you're looking for something easy to get into, something that you just want to devour very rapidly, and something with a Christian slant to it, this book is all of that in a nutshell. That is this book. Now for some of the spoil thoughts. If you are planning on reading this book, leave now and come back and we'll talk. Otherwise, you enter from this point on at your own risk. I did have some issue with how fast-paced and how much the story flipped back and forth between scenes and how convenient a lot of the storyline was. It felt too unreal at points because of it, and I got a little lost at the end because it all kind of just happened and it didn't seem consistent. I was waiting for this huge, great big, epic kind of battle scene, especially at Homecoming where these things always happen. It has to be a dance. I don't know why. It has to be a dance. But then it kind of, it built, and then I was kind of like, huh. I'm like, wait, is that all? Okay, so that left me hanging a little bit in a kind of weird way. And like I said, I wanted a lot of character depth and development, and that wasn't what this book was. It was mostly action and a lot of fighting and montagey and dialogue. This was a very dialogue heavy book, which is probably why there wasn't a lot of character development. It was a lot of back and forth. I do like where these characters are starting. I want to see more. I want to see a lot more of the growth of these characters. I probably have said that numerous times now, but that is what I'm really interested in at this point. I had a hard time believing Maggie's transition from dealing with these demons to being demon free and how suddenly bubbly and animated she was. Part of me feels like there should be some post-traumatic issues that she needs to deal with, because that's not necessarily something you just deal with in an hour over pie and suddenly everything's okay. I understand why she was brought into the story as a friend, but all of a sudden she was just too much. I couldn't understand where she was coming from. And the fact that Claire was okay with Zoe telling a normal, I'm gonna call them normals, telling a normal all about the story, whereas Zoe was trying to keep this great big secret from Zoe in the first place so that she wouldn't end up in trouble, but she's okay with Zoe telling other people, which could end up leading them to trouble. I understand that you sometimes need friends to bounce things off of, but she was just too open to suddenly telling everybody all the secrets and all the things. I tripped up a little bit on that. I am interested to see where this story is going, because I love the whole concept of the creator and the way the creator is speaking to these characters. It gives me the warm fuzzies and I like it. I like it a lot. And as I said, I was getting a little bit of that Gilmore and that Buffy feel, and I love the Buffy universe. And from what I've seen of the Gilmore universe, it can be very quippy, and I like quippy. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see where this series goes. So if you have read this story yet, let me know what you think down below, and we'll start a conversation. I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.